What happened to Alfie Wright continues to be a question that many want answered, including his family. James White, who is our state representative, met with some of the officials that are involved in that investigation this week. James, what do we have any updates on where the investigation is going? Is it progressing?
Hey, Mike, thank you for asking me to come in. And obviously, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing as mayor. I think you get paid about what?
Zero.
So you get paid about what, $600 a month less than a state rep, huh?
Yeah.
Right. And we're proud to represent you and proud to represent all our citizens in the 5 counties here in Southeast Texas. This issue with Alfred Wright, and he is or was a common constituent for both of us and the family, and we're still praying for the family's uplift and the Lord will console them during this time. We know this is hard. I just think about my parents. If something happened to me, how they would feel, and I can't probably phantom that. But so we're just uplifting them and the Wright family in prayer. Let me just thinking about this. Let's just go back to the beginning. Mayor, when Alfie, when his disappearance became known, there were a lot of concerns, and Mayor, I'm gonna tell you, I got calls from obviously people that were working with the family, but people in your community. I mean, I was extremely uplifted by how the Jasper community came together and it was voicing support for the Wright family as they were contacting me, even though this incident happened in Sabine County. And many people asked me to get the Texas Rangers involved, and you understand that we do have elected sheriffs in all of our counties. And I immediately got on the phone, and these small counties usually you don't have a lot of resources like Harris County and Dallas County. And I got on the phone and I talked with Steve McCraw, who's over DPS, and said, look, I got one of my constituents that has come up missing in Sabine County. I have a community, obviously a family that's concerned. Could you be ready to provide some type of help or assets? And I mean, Steve McCraw immediately said, look, don't feel guarded about asking. He said, even if my son was missing, I would want everybody out there, the Army, the police, the FBI, whatever. And then, we got calls and concerns, and you heard the same ones, and eventually DPS on request of the family and different elected officials in the community, DPS got some air assets to help out the Sabine Sheriff's Office. When his body was discovered, again upon request of the family and other people in the community, the Texas Rangers moved in. And Mayor, you're in public office also, and all of our citizens want transparency. In the same note, the law enforcement officials throughout my 5 counties, I represent Hardin, Polk, Tyler, Jasper, Newton, those 5 counties, have the utmost respect for the troopers that work those counties, the sheriffs in those counties, and our police departments in those counties. So with that, it was asked by many people, not just the family, can we bring in some other Ranger investigation assets in that can have a fresh set of eyes? And they were brought in from all parts of the state to help out. And this is a serious issue. I mean, you and I both know the importance of life, Mayor. And with the help of Sheila Jackson Lee working with the family, and upon the family's request, the Justice Department was brought in also. And what happened is the Justice Department, DPS, which involves the troopers and the rangers, the Justice Department, the Justice Department, FBI works on the Justice Department. They were brought in, and the Justice Department sat down with the state law enforcement. Right now, because now you've got the federal government involved, okay? And you and I being in public service, we're okay with transparency. In your city budget, things that you do, you've got to have all this transparency. Okay, so we're not pushing back. We don't push back against transparency. And Mayor, the Justice Department came in and to help assist with this investigation, to add transparency, and they all got together, these law enforcement agencies with justice, and they provided a path forward. So the Justice Department is overlooking everything that the Rangers are doing. The FBI came in to do some checks on to making sure that none of our citizens' civil rights were violated in Sabine County. Okay? Again, we're not lodging any allegations. And if your kids came up missing, you would probably ask the same thing. And of me as an elected official, it's really hard for me to tell, and you've been in elected office, to tell a grieving family, no on bringing this in, no on doing this. So all of this came in on request of the family. And obviously this investigation has been going on for some months now. Well, from time to time, all of these agencies get together and they have a status briefing or meeting. As you know, justice is with everybody. And you know how it is, Mayor. The way they do it in D.C., the president, Republican, Democrat, whoever, they appoint the attorney general, approved by the Senate. And then under the attorney general, you have FBI working. The U.S. attorneys in all of the, 96 district courts throughout the country are appointed by the president, okay? Republican and Democrat. So these are political positions. But what I notice about all U.S. attorneys, these guys and ladies are very sharp. They know the law. They have a lot of experience in investigations and looking at stuff. So that's the issue there. And obviously our law enforcement works sort of the same way. We have local law enforcement, sheriffs, police departments, and then we have our state law enforcement, the troopers and the rangers. They're all under and associated with the DPS, and the head of DPS is appointed by our governor, Republican and Democrat. So they all get together, and they recently have got together again.
So the investigation is continuing.
Absolutely. And here's the issue with it. Justice is looking at all the issues that the Rangers are bringing. They're still doing some interviews, the Rangers. They've brought in other Ranger investigation assets to help out. And then we have justice and other experts that the family has sought out and retained, and they're also looking at information. And so I asked DPS, what do you need from me as a state official to make sure that you and our constituents, get the closure and the truth? And they said, just a little bit more patience. Okay. And they're communicating with the family. And what I'm saying here, I went on, called the family up and told them the same thing.
So do you have any idea when we might have some additional information?
Nothing definite, because again, being an elected official, a state official, knowing that I have oversight, budget oversight, statutory oversight over DPS and Rangers, I don't want them to believe, and I don't want my citizens to believe, that I'm rushing them or intimidating them. The Justice Department, I want to be respectful of what the citizens of this region and the family has requested, and I'm not going to be pushing them to do this or that. So I told the agencies that I have oversight over, work with the Justice Department, when you find something, please reach out to the family. And I think we want all the information brought out in the context at one time. Okay,
well, State Representative James White, we appreciate you coming by today and informing us and telling us what's going on. And at the earliest that you have information, we hope that you'll get that to us.
Yeah, we will. We will, Mike. And let me say, again, you and I, as elected officials, we understand people will express themselves, exercise their First Amendment, but we're not going to suffer much more just lawlessness and disrespect. And the law enforcement officials that the family has requested to come in and help out on this ask for patience. You know what? That's all of us. Those that may have some ideas on what happened and those of us elected officials. So people expressing their opinions one thing, but we still need to be respectful and understand that all of our law enforcement officers and elected officials, we still have a constitutional responsibility to maintain order in our area. And understand the people of Jasper, everybody I talk to in Jasper, they're standing behind the Wright family, even though this happened in Sabine County.
Right. Once again, State Representative James White, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, James.